Just be happy with what is on the horizon. Be happy with the fact that we are about to have a football team like we have never had in this city before. Be happy that we are going to have a football team that for the next 5, 10, maybe 15, hell, maybe even 20 years is going to be talked about as a consistent contender because we have the right people in the front office, we have the right people running the show, and they're going to do things the right way this time. And we've never had that here in Chicago.
Abused stepchildren. We don't believe the next guy isn't going to kick the shit out of us like the last guy did.
That's fair. That's fair.
Everybody's writing Fitz gibberishes today, and they're all better than mine.
And welcome to Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk. It's your boy, Brandon Combs, along with my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons. We're at the Combs compound today.
Yeah, Combs Casa. Little different.
Live in living color.
Little different. I'm driving over here in front of me.
And you forgot my address again.
Forgot your address
again.
Every house looks the same.
You were just here last week and you called me with the same question.
I know. And I'm driving. I think maybe I got aggravated because I'm driving here and this slow ass motorcycle is in front of me and he's got a handicap license plate. Now, should they give out handicap license plates to motorcyclists?
I mean,
I don't think it's that far back. I mean,
it's
the guy who had to be he had to be close. He's pushing 80. I mean, he looked like Joe Biden walking up the stairs to Air Force One.
I drive downtown every single day for work, so I get angry at drivers here in Chicago. Handicap license plates be damned. If you don't have a handicap license plate and you're still driving like an asshole, I have an even bigger issue with you. If you're going down the highway, down freaking 57, down 90, 94, down 294, I don't care where it is, and you're in the left-hand lane, and you're driving 60 miles an hour in the left-hand lane, and you refuse to move over, it's out of the way. God, I hate that. But anyway, speaking of things I hate, Chicago Bears offense.
Oh, boy.
We left you guys last week. We were at McNally's. We had the live show at McNally's, and we were talking about,
the offensive line.
And do you see any letdowns here in week one? And we both said no. However, the offense looked abysmal. And the offensive line looked just as bad, if not worse, than it has over the last couple of years. I mean, it was a really poor showing. Now, it's only week one, so I don't want to get too crazy and overreact too crazy. Yeah. But Justin Fields outperformed Caleb Williams, and I told you what was going to happen if Justin Fields outperformed Caleb Williams.
I mean, yeah, he did. I mean, he had more yardage. Neither of them turned the ball over. I mean, they're on different trajectories, though. I mean,
yeah,
the Steelers actually have an offensive line. I mean, this and the only prediction you got right was the Bears score pretty much. I mean, you were 3 points off.
Yeah.
You had them 27-7, winning 27-17. And
so now I've got to go to your house.
But really, if you look at the plays, yes, you can say this every week in the NFL with every quarterback, but like 3 or 4 plays, and we're probably telling a different story with the offense. He hits Keenan Allen catches the touchdown. That's probably 2 touchdowns right there. Like, I mean,
if Coleman Shelton's not looking like he's getting run over by a dump truck on every freaking play.
And I did not really, I knew that center position might be an issue, but you had some starters there that they picked up. I was saying left tackle. I still think we're going to have a problem there. So we might have a problem all up and down the line. I mean, it's getting tough. I mean, Braxton Jones is not going to be a Pro Bowl left tackle. He's just not. And if you have problems in the interior of the line now, with now Coleman Shelton, Ryan Bates is out. He's on the IR. So you really don't have a back that fits. If you post my dad mowing your lawn in that thing, I'm going to block you. What, Junior? Come on.
Well, I will tell you this. Okay, so the
You
first
don't want
thing
to see your dad's camel toe?
the first thing I did, asshole. The first thing I did was I went to Michelle and I said, "So where do I buy a Speedo?"
Yes.
And she goes,
Like you didn't know.
she goes,
Like you didn't know.
No, I have no
like how
clue.
you played that. Very
She-
coy.
She
That's
said,
how I
"Well, you
would've
could
done it.
probably get one at Dick's, or you could probably, go on Amazon." So her and I then went on a rabbit hole of how to find a Speedo,
Yeah.
and
Good times.
we actually found some very interesting Speedos.
Yes. Do we
She
have
found
pictures?
one with like with an elephant trunk, and I said, "I'm Irish. Do they have any with a pig nose instead?"
Yeah. Oh my God.
She found some where you can actually upload photos and put them on. So we might
Yes.
I might be there with some interesting
It's gonna be something.
but yes, I will, at some point here show up to your house. Maybe on a day where you're at work and it's just Nicole home. In
That'll
a pair of
probably
Speedos.
be troubling.
And she'll be
And
like,
I'll
"What
call
is
the
going
state
on right
and
now?"
I'll call the state sheriff. I have a pit bull.
I'm
have a pit
just
bull.
mowing your lawn.
I have a pit bull.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like I'm gonna have to take her to training. sick camel toe, Missy. Sick camel toe. Jeremiah. Oh, fuck
fit,
face on your ass.
fits his face on your ass.
Oh. Fuck. I don't even know. All right. Moving on. Jeremiah was making the correct reads all game, but the ball was fluttering. Yeah, it was. There was. He did not have a
Did
lot
he
of
seem
good
nervous?
spirals. Yeah, he says he's
Eh.
not nervous, which is obviously a lie. You're not you don't seem like a sociopath. You cry in your mom's arms.
Yeah.
Like
He
you
seemed
care.
nervous all game, to be
He's-
honest with you.
Well, I think he settled down a little bit in the second
Yeah.
half and made some good reads. A couple of the runs he made were really good. Some of the balls he did throw were pretty good. There was one to the sideline to Keenan Allen that he had. Keenan Allen's, it's right on his hands. And someone
Yeah.
was saying, well, he might have had a little bit more touch on that ball. I don't know. He's fitting that into a window.
Yeah, and look, you've got to have guys that can catch the ball, but you've got to have an offensive line that can block for you, and that was a huge problem in week 1, man. And it looked like, it's funny because he looked a lot like how Justin Fields has looked over the last couple of years. Like, he was on the run and he was trying to make things happen. Sometimes guys were open and he was able to make them happen, but then other times it just wasn't there. And people are talking about like Jeremiah says, he was making the correct reads all day long. I agree with you. He was making the correct reads. However, he had no time to do anything with those reads.
Yeah.
And, where you're going to run into the problem, if this is going to be the case all year again, like it was for Justin Fields in his 3 years, he's not as fast as Justin Fields was. Justin Fields is better with his legs than Caleb Williams.
Oh,
was.
yeah, and stronger. And Justin
Yes.
Fields is possibly the strongest quarterback in the league. He'll have guys on it. He had Myles Garrett on his back once, and he threw him, and then he hits Cole Kmet in left corner of the end zone. You're not going to be able to do that with Caleb Williams. And last week, I talked about Justin Fields' first goddamn game where he got sacked 9 times, and then Caleb Williams is running for his life. And Justin Fields game, they were coming from every angle, but when you get that rush right in your face, I mean, there's no way. You can't do much. You can kind of slide out of the pocket, and he does. He can. Right. He has the arm to slide left or right. It doesn't matter for Caleb Williams, which a lot of quarterbacks can't do that, and he can still get it down the field and fit it into windows. But
I will say this. I think Caleb Williams probably gets sacked 4 or 5 times in that game. Or I'm sorry, Justin Fields gets sacked 4 or 5 times in that game, where Caleb Williams only got sacked twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can
like
see
a lot more.
I can see you know, and I don't want to harp on Justin Fields too much. Look, I mean, Justin Fields only threw for 156 yards.
Yeah.
And that was a field goal game. I mean, it wasn't like he was lighting the lamp every time he touched the ball.
God, could you imagine?
Oh, that would have been terrible. But at one point on the screen, I'm sitting there watching the game. We stayed at McNally's. We watched the game with the people that came down to hang out with us and enjoy some Bears football. And I'm watching the game with a couple of buddies, and we look up at the screen, and it shows Justin Fields 5 for 11, and my buddy Manny goes, "Oh man, would you look at that? See, Justin Fields isn't having a good game." And then it shows, Caleb Williams 9 for 19, and we're like,
Pretty tough.
"Oh."
And my brother John was just belligerent.
Oh,
yelling
dude, he's
at us,
always
and then they
belligerent,
end
though.
up winning anyway.
Yeah. Look, the
Like, it was
defense
really early in the game. Yeah, the defense was
is elite.
great.
They're
I mean,
elite.
Jalen Johnson, that even that interception was a really good read, a really good play. If you watch it again, yeah, it was a bad ball. Will, your boy Will Lutz. God, oh, what was that throw? That Stevenson returned for a touchdown.
Dude,
30
and
yards.
my favorite
was
thing
like,
is the hands on the head after. Oh
he
no!
trying to get it out of bounds. Yeah, it's a meme now. Was he trying to get it out of bounds? Like, I don't even know what was happening there. It was bizarre. And then the head coach
You know what that
comes
pass
out.
reminded me of, right?
Oh no!
Anything that happens with the White Sox.
Oh no!
Yeah, when he put his hands on his head, that's exactly what it reminded me of. Oh no! It was really, really bad. Yeah, he did not look good. He did not have a good game. The Titans, you know, they played a good enough game to win that game, but the Bears defense, it kind of gave you flashbacks to 2006, where they won all of those games on the strength of the defense, end up going to a
And
Super Bowl because the
2005.
defense was so good, you know?
I mean, at least they had a good offense in the beginning of that year.
Yeah.
In 2005, they had nothing.
Right.
They had neckbeard.
They had
Kyle Orton, the neckbeard, who, you know, was ended up being a decent quarterback, but then he was a rookie and he wasn't that good. I think they got him in the 3rd or 4th round. I'm sure Jeremiah's ready to correct me, but
Jeremiah correct you? Why would Jeremiah do something like that?
Justin might have turned the ball over and we wouldn't have won the game. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, and then the Titans coach comes out and he says, if we would have punted it every time, we would have won the game. I mean, as a head coach, I don't know if you want to say that when you got a year 2 quarterback who only played 8 games last year.
Yeah, look, I think that the Bears are going to be just fine. Look, it was week 1, and weird things happen in week 1. I'm concerned about the offensive line. I'm not concerned about Caleb Williams.
Now you're concerned. You weren't concerned in the draft. You weren't concerned in free agency.
No.
You're concerned
Stop.
now. You're concerned now.
First of all, the problem is not left tackle. The problem is center.
How do we even know that? How do we even know that when the center's already giving up the sack?
If you remember, the center was getting bulldozed all day long.
He got bulldozed by a guy who was like 230 pounds.
Sauce Gardner ran him over. Like, it is not okay.
Not a big man.
And if you remember, prior to the draft, prior to even getting Caleb Williams, prior to anything, right after the season ended, what did I say should have been the number 1 priority?
You did say center.
And what did they do? Coleman Shelton and Ryan Bates. I mean, they didn't go out there. They didn't go after the top centers in free agency. They didn't go after the top center in the draft. And I was screaming for that too. I kept saying to you, they've got to trade back into this first round. I don't care if it takes 3 of next year's draft picks to come back and get a center. And they didn't do it. The center from Oregon stayed on the board for how long?
Pretty long, yeah.
I mean, he was, and you have to have that. You have to have a guy that can pass protect. You have to have a guy that's not going to get run
Or
over by
even
you
run.
or me.
Or even run. I mean, even the runs. I mean, if you look at that video that's been going around, you can play it in a minute if you want. I mean, even on run plays, DeAndre Swift had no chance
Yeah.
on a lot of plays up the middle. Khalil Herbert had no chance on some of those plays. And you don't get the run game going, the pass game isn't going to be that good, especially when you have a rookie quarterback.
Right.
I mean, I don't care who you got running the routes. I don't care. It's getting bad.
Yeah.
Nate Davis is on notice. He's been on notice. Like I said, he doesn't have any moms left to die.
Let's see if we can get this thing to play here. Hold on one second. Let me.
And I'll read Doubting Thomas while you're queuing that. While our production staff is queuing that up. I didn't like the play calling, defense geared up to stop the run. Yeah, versus a rookie QB. And oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. I agree with Doubting Thomas, or the bad guy from Smurfs. That's his moniker today. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, they did not throw the ball enough when it looked like they were geared up for the run. They knew the Bears' game plan was
I think
going to be give Caleb Williams a chance by running the ball a lot and running a lot of screens.
And I think the problem with that was killing me too, watching all the screen passes, because I was having flashbacks to last year.
Yes.
But the other thing too was Roschon Johnson not playing last week was a huge issue for them too. He is back in the lineup. That he does not have an injury designation for tonight's game. I think it'll be a different Bears offense tonight.
Is he your backup running back?
I believe by the end of the year he'll be their number one. I think he's that good.
Boy.
I like Roschon Johnson a lot.
Boy, I don't know.
All right, we'll see. But here, let's take a look at this video on Coleman Shelton that I sent you earlier in this week. This was the Bears center, just getting annihilated. Even though he was trying to hold right there, and it still didn't work. Here he's falling over his own guy. And I mean,
blocking the wrong
Coleman
guy.
Shelton, what are you doing? Why are you so far downfield?
That's not that wasn't bad. Yeah, that's the one. The guy's like 230 pounds.
What?
You're supposed to block guys like that are 300.
Yes. And this is the starting center. Now look, could it get better? Sure.
Can Olin Root still play?
The Tennessee Titans defensive line.
Jay Hilgenberg.
The Tennessee
Titans
defensive line is pretty good. They've got men at defensive tackle.
Yeah, that's Simmons.
They've got some men at defensive tackle.
My God.
But I don't know if watching that, if it can get much worse than that. So to say it's going to be better, I think is kind of like me saying, hey, at some point, the sun's going to come back out. Like, because of course, at some point, it's got to get better. It can't be worse.
This is the same organization that had Jay Cutler sacked 6 times against the Lions on prime time.
Yeah.
Almost killed him. Probably ruined Justin Fields' career. You could say he's bad, but I mean, when your first game is 9 sacks, and it's that you doing 7-step drops. I mean, this organization just and I was looking at a video. I did not have time to cut it, but I was looking at a video from a year ago today. We're on the air. And what are we talking about? The offensive line. And we're talking about Ryan Poles. Everybody wants to throw roses at this guy's feet. He was supposed to come in to build a good offensive line. That's what he did for the Chiefs. Yeah, they had a great offensive line their first Super Bowl. And then against Tampa Bay, the offensive line fell apart and they had some injuries. And then he put it back together and they started to win again. And then he comes to the Bears and he can't draft off. I mean, I guess Darnell Wright looks probably is he your best offensive lineman?
I mean, look, he's
sad.
done a great job with the draft.
Sad.
He has done a great job with. I mean, Tyreek Stevenson.
Can Tyreek Stevenson play center?
No. But that's the thing. So that's what I'm getting at, is that he's done a good job in other places. You know what he reminds me of? Him building an offensive line reminds me of Jed Hoyer building a bullpen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Trying to do it the cheap way, because he hasn't gone out.
Cubs.
Yeah,
it's going to be the Cubs of this year, where you could have really truly improved this team.
Yes,
and now you're going to go 8, 9, 7, and 10 again. If the offensive line is going to be like this, I do not see them winning my 11-game total that I told you about.
you've got to.
Can we
They've-
delete that recording?
No, we can't. If we can't delete my White Sox win the division recording,
Yes.
we can.
Hey, and Doubting Thomas had him winning 70 games.
That's true.
That's
That's
not
true.
going to happen. We'll
Um,
get to them later.
I don't know if this is going to get better, but if it doesn't get better, that absolutely falls at the feet of Ryan Poles. That's what you were brought in to do. You were
Yeah.
brought in to build an offensive, like that is your forte. You were an offensive lineman, and it seems like you are going after the guys who can do, yes, who are either A, past their prime of when they were really good, or B, the guys who are like very, very much the guys that you like in a clubhouse but aren't very skilled at their position. You know what I mean? Like a David Ross, right? Like a guy who you don't want to see out there playing every day, but is a great leader in the clubhouse.
They're not going to cover up a murder,
Right.
but they're
Right. Yeah.
They're not going to get arrested outside the
Yes.
game 45 minutes before it
The
starts.
problem is this time the murderer is going to be your quarterback,
Yeah.
and that's a problem. So they
that was
have to
low.
address it. If it's not going to get better, they have to go out. I don't care if you go out on the waiver wire. I don't care if you go out and make a trade. I don't care if you go and find a team that is just underperforming, like maybe in a couple of weeks, week 4, week 5, you find a team that's just down that has a good center, and you go out and you trade 2 or 3 draft picks to go and get one. You have got to address the center position. And I said that coming into this year, especially with a rookie quarterback, the key is going to be to have a veteran. I would have been okay with a rookie that is really good at center, but a veteran center that can help ease things for your quarterback. And the Bears did none of that.
Yeah.
They did not do any of that. They don't have a center that can read a blitz package. They don't have a center that can read defensive schemes. They just don't have that right now. And it showed with Shelton in week 1. And look, I know we're talking about the men that the Tennessee Titans have, but have you seen the front 7 of the Houston Texans?
Yeah, I know it's going to be a scare.
Danielle Hunter on one side.
I know.
I mean, like,
I wanted the Bears to get to Neil Hunter, but while we're there, I hate to shift gears. Darrell Taylor might be a player. 2 sacks,
yeah,
forced fumble, was really good. That was the late preseason pickup the Bears got for a 6th-round pick. He's already worth a 6th-round pick one game in.
Yep.
But yeah, you have Danielle. I mean, you have guys. I mean, I just think tonight could be really bad, and it's on prime time again. And the Bears have some kind of lock on prime time where they're usually bad, minus the Washington Redskins game.
They've got
last
4
year.
primetime games this year, 5 if you include the one in London.
And
Which is at like 8 in the morning. I don't know if that's really prime time, but it's like,
And if Jordan Love gets healthy and stops throwing off his back foot, that last Packers game is probably going to be a prime time.
Right. So we're talking about the offensive line and if they're going to have a problem with the defensive line. Let's talk about Will Anderson, Mario Edwards Jr., and Danielle Hunter, because that's who we're going up against tonight. Like, I'm worried about it. I know that, Jeremiah says he feels like it's going to be better tonight. I just don't know how it is. I really don't. I'm, we're going to get into the Wheel of Death later.
They're wearing their orange jerseys. I don't know what that means. Does that make them play better?
I don't know. I don't know what their record is in the orange jerseys. Jeremiah will probably enlighten us, though. Speaking of which, we've got a couple people in the chat. Doubting Thomas, Jeremiah, Brandon Combs Jr. I haven't seen really anybody else in the chat right now. So of those 3, your brother was last week. Of those 3, who's our Wheel of Death punishment picker this week, do you think?
We can get Doubting Thomas to do it, I guess, just to get it over with.
Oh,
If
Doubting
he's
Thomas?
If he's still listening, he listens for like 5 minutes and then says he listens to the whole thing. So he might not
that's
really be
true.
listening.
That's
But
fair.
Doubting Thomas, if you're out there, you get to pick the punishment this week. Just
Okay.
because it's like early in the season.
Yep.
And let's face it, I watch less football than you. You don't know exactly what their teams are doing yet, and there's more likelihood of me winning earlier in the season than later in the season when you tighten the screws on this thing.
So here he says bad move. So here are the parameters, Doubting Thomas, in
My
case you didn't
pleasure.
hear it last week, because you do only watch for 5 minutes and say you watched the whole thing. In case you missed it last week, same stipulations we gave to John Fitzgibbons. It can't cause us to go to jail, so it can't be illegal. It can't cause us bodily harm. So no tattoos, none of that junk. And it can't like cause like us. It can't cause us to get sick, paralysis. You know what I mean? Like it might make us vomit or something if we try some like Malort infused with cicadas or some stupid shit. But
I would do
you
that.
know,
I've eaten a
yeah,
cicada.
that's what I'm saying. Like that type of stuff will do. I'm talking about like physically, like drink a tablespoon of like olive oil or something, or
I would definitely do that.
chug
I
a
love
gallon
olive
or
oil.
chug a gallon of milk. It's just
Oh,
that's
God, I'll
just
barf.
stupid. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of getting tattoos, shout out to Jack Doherty, who
Mhm.
was there last week at McNally's, who had to get at least I believe he was telling the truth because I saw the tattoo. He had to get a Steelers tattoo because he lost a bet. He
Oh.
has a Steelers tattoo.
I would like to give you a shout out to my executive producer on BetMGM tonight at BetQL Network, Hate and Ass Mario, as we like to call him, because the Hate and Ass one has to get a tattoo, and the guys who he owes the tattoo are coming in studio to force him to get it because he's owed it for over like a year. They are going to bend him over during a show and give the tattoo. Yeah. And not only is it a tattoo,
Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys there.
a tattoo
Oh,
of his
thank
own
you.
face on his ass.
Oh my!
And
God.
so he's talking the
Yes,
other
it could
day
be
on the show, and
worse.
he's like, yeah, try being a single man in DC who, when you take your pants off, have to explain to a girl why you have a tattoo of your. How much do you love yourself that you have a tattoo of your own face on your ass?
How old is he?
Mario, he's probably, I don't know exactly how old, but I would say if I had to guess, he's somewhere between 25 and 28.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Because if he's over 40, you're rarely showing
Yeah,
the girl your ass because
Or you're married
things
and
aren't hanging as well as they used to
Yeah,
be. Gravity is
exactly.
starting to take control.
Yeah.
And you don't want her to see your ass. So you've gotten
Right.
better at moving. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going.
Why did you pick Doubting Tom? Everybody's scaring me now. Jeremiah says this is going to be maniacal. John says don't give Tom any ideas, dumbasses.
He does have a brain that leans criminal.
Okay.
Leans criminal.
I got to make sure I do better on the
he
picks this
lives
week.
at-
I've
I'm
already
just
got to mow
saying-
your lawn in a thong.
I'm just saying, if a bank was robbed, and he lives in Michigan, if a bank was robbed in Michigan, I wouldn't go to him first, but he wouldn't be the 7th or 8th person I went to for the bank robbery, for being guilty for robbing the bank.
No, because once you start taking your pants off, she can just be like, "What the," and just leave.
mean,
Or
is she really
or
going
have-
around to the ass?
I don't
though?
know if you've ever had
Is
this
she
happen.
really going back there?
Have you ever been like in the middle of trying to seal the deal and you make her laugh and then she just can't stop laughing and it just ruins the mood?
Yeah.
I'm
I
Irish.
mean,
It's happened a few times.
yeah, I've had some. Well, no,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. We've both been there. we've both been there.
You've been there.
I mean, look, I'm a Marine. I've been there a few times. Yeah. So yeah, Junior says, "Yep." Shut up, Junior.
Why is he even thinking about that?
Well, I mean, he is almost 21.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that. But anyway,
I wonder what he's done.
shut the fuck. I can't.
Why can't we?
Are you ready for Fitz gibberish?
I'm looking for my music. I don't even know this.
There you go.
All right. It's Fitz gibberish. It's a diatribe. It's a conspiracy series.
What
Theory.
the fuck?
And it's an island in the middle of unapologetic and sometimes
No, it just smells like coffee. I don't know.
inaccurate sports talk. I can't talk right now. Well, Combs,
Uh,
I was going to skip Pitts gibberish this week. It's been a long week. I was going to give you a rest and acting like you were actually listening.
Nobody would listen if you skip Fitz gibberish.
Yeah, right. Then Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox,
Oh God.
and his man puppet, minus the hand up his ass, Chris Getz, the GM of the Sox, emerged from their lairs to see if we have 6 more weeks of summer. Apparently, we do not have 6 more weeks of summer, because when you match dim-witted logic with unjustifiable confidence, the wind never blows as cold again. Reinsdorf first came out with testicular fortitude to say this about this year with the White Sox.
Okay. I've not seen this yet.
I
I've
love
heard
this.
about it, but I have
I
not
love
seen
this.
it
I
yet.
love this. So everyone in this organization is extremely unhappy with the results of this season. That goes without saying. Really? Really? You're coming out now saying that?
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yes,
Yeah.
that goes without saying. Worst record ever.
Mm-hmm.
This year has been very painful for all, especially our fans. We did not arrive here overnight, and solutions won't happen overnight either. Really, Jerry, you clown. Didn't you say this last year when you picked up Chris Getz?
The first thing I did was develop a list of qualified people around the game who I thought could come in and take over and be fine general managers for the White Sox. Chris was on that list. There were quite a number of other people who were on that list. But the conclusion I came to is that what we owe our fans and ourselves is not to waste any time. We want to get better as fast as we possibly.
What time? What in the hell?
I can't.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
It can't. It can't get worse.
It gets worse.
Okay.
What has impressed me is how our players and staff have continued to work and bring a professional attitude to the ballpark each day. Despite a historically difficult season, no one is happy with the results, but I commend the continued effort. I expect to have more to say at the end of the season. So we're giving away participation trophies now. I'm not surprised when you have a kindergarten team playing baseball who just last night snapped a 16-game home losing streak. 16 games at home. On the last bat it took you to against the Oakland A's, who aren't even trying to win.
That eliminated the A's from playoff contention, by the way.
Oh, we were worried about that. Then the puppet, Christina Getz.
The White Sox have been eliminated since August 1st.
Unbelievable. Then the mad puppet, Christina Getz, had something to say.
Oh, God. No.
And I'll put it up on the screen for those of you who are just listening. We're not going to be working heavy in free agency. We've got guys on the field right now who need to improve. What guys are you talking about? You are on target to be the worst team in MLB history. Who are you talking to? Can you imagine the cognitive dissonance to make these statements? Can you give me the other camera? Can you give me camera 2? Give me camera 2.
The production staff is on it. Give me a break.
What the hell?
You made me do that just for that.
This is like a prostitute wearing white on her wedding day. Just wear red already. You know you look better in it anyway.
Who's marrying a prostitute?
I'm just saying. Who is she fooling?
Okay.
Jerry. I respect you more if you just said, I think I know better than everyone else. The more the fans and media call me a miserable failure, the more I'm not going to care and sabotage my team. Jer Bear.
Jer Bear.
Do us all a favor. Put on the red stiletto heels and the red dress because it matches your red nose, you clown. And sell. Please. Sell the damn team already. Combs, worse than you thought.
So Jeremiah says that's Doubting Thomas's punishment. Marry a prostitute. It wouldn't be the worst marriage in my life.
Camera 2 sucks.
However, Michelle
to
would
be
be
better
pretty
than
upset. Look,
It's worse than you. The statement is worse than you thought. You have to admit.
it's no, because it just doesn't surprise me. I mean, the guy's lost such the video you played about him talking last year. I put together a list of very capable candidates, and you came up with Chris Getz.
Yes.
I mean, so yeah,
He wanted to hurry up and
Yeah.
get them competitive again.
Yeah.
He owed that to the fans.
And
Combs.
now
He owed
Chris
it to 'em.
Getz is saying we've got players on the field that look they are 51 games back in the division. That's 17 more games than what they've won this year. That's how bad the Chicago White Sox are. 34 wins. Your brother posted that he went to the game last night, and he showed the crowd. I was like, I can't believe that many people paid for a ticket and paid for parking to go see this team. And he's like, well, they won. I'm like, oh, great. Or I'm sorry, your cousin Jules said, well, they won. I said, well, great. Well, now they're almost to 35.
Yeah, let's.
It is September the 15th,
Yeah.
and they have not reached 35 wins yet.
I mean, there's teams that have won over 20 games in a month.
Yeah. I sent you a photo yesterday. The Cubs versus the American League have 26 wins this year. The White Sox versus the American League now have 23 wins this
And
year.
the Cubs aren't even good.
And the Cubs don't play in the American League.
I know. I mean, it is. It's so bad.
It's beyond bad. It's beyond. Not only is it beyond bad, but there is no end in sight. And this is what
They're
I told.
moving.
This is what I've
They're
told you.
moving. They're
This
moving.
is what I've told you
It's
for the
happening.
last
They're
2
moving.
years. Is it not that this team is in a black hole of baseball until Jerry Reinsdorf sells the team or dies? And I don't wish death upon anybody, but I'd be okay if him and Virginia McCaskey took a long nap.
And
And it's just one of those things where you're just you look at these teams, you look at Jerry Reinsdorf and what he is doing. Oh God. Oh God.
Doubting Thomas came up with something. Okay, not joking. This one. Loser has to complete 5 drills from the NFL Combine. Go. Can you?
We have to look up the drills from the NFL Combine. I did say it can't
I
cause
have
us
to look-
bodily harm.
I
and
have to look. I have to
I don't
look
know
up.
if you've seen my body lately.
I have to look up the rehab time on an ACL tear.
ACL, hamstring, tear off the bone. Okay. I mean,
Sox fans are drugged up sister wives at this point. We don't even care anymore. We just sit there and
Look-
take it. Plus, if there's a giveaway, this is the South Side. Come on. This
If
is probably
Jerry-
the lowest economic area other than maybe Oakland
if
in the
Jerry
country.
does
that
not
you
sell
have
this
a giveaway,
team,
there's 20,000 people who are going to be there guaranteed.
they are 5 years away, and that's the problem. That's why owners don't care, is because you got a
We've
34
talked
win
about
team,
it
but
before.
we gave you a giveaway, so now we're going to fill the stadium, and I just made a couple $1 million
Yeah.
off of you.
Yeah.
It is one of those things where it's almost like, and I hate to say it, but I said it last year too, is you almost have to take the Oakland stance. Stop going to games.
Yeah, I mean,
Stop
that was
paying
pretty
for
cool
a
last
ticket.
year.
Stop paying 3 times what you pay for a ticket for parking.
I've
at
been
the
to
stadium.
the least amount of games
I can
this
get
year.
I can get a ticket right now on StubHub for a White Sox game for $1. It's going to cost me $40 to park.
Yeah. Well, on Sundays it's half off.
Okay, so $20 to park, still 20 times the amount that I pay for the ticket, and not only that, but I'm going to see a team that hasn't reached 35 wins on September 15th.
Yeah.
Like that can't happen. That's not That's not what you do. Look, I went earlier this year. I'm one of the victims of this. I went to go get the Southpaw. I'm not a White Sox fan, but I went to go get the Southpaw
went.
bobblehead, the
You
WWE
went. You
Southpaw
had to have
bobblehead, and it's one of those. But at least that was earlier in the season. That was in May that I went to go get that. I mean, they were at least at like 9 wins then.
Aiden, my son, fell asleep during one of the games, and I was like, I can't believe this kid fell asleep during one of the games. Now I see why. John says yes. He either likes Doubting Thomas's punishment, or he sat on
He
a
likes
door, or he
Doubting
sat on a
Thomas's
doorknob.
punishment. Yeah.
But I wanted one of you to dress drag, so be thankful.
Well, I mean,
I'd look pretty.
so
good.
now we know we can never pick Megan TV.
Yes.
For the punishment
There
picker.
you go.
So thanks for that, Megan. You should have just kept your mouth shut.
Are out of there. I look pretty good, I think. I mean, not that I would know that for any reason.
Jeremiah said, no, absolutely not, Jeremiah. Megan is not next. Because that nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. I mean, except for everybody watching the show right now. They would probably enjoy one of us doing that, but we're not doing that.
I mean, would we both have to? No.
Only and I lost last week, so at some point next week, I'll have to warn Nicole and be like, "Hey, look, at some point when you look out your window, you might see my ass cheeks mowing your lawn." So Nicole, fair warning, my ass cheeks are going to be in your lawn, and your husband's face may or may not be around my crotch region.
God, what's gotten into Junior today? Fitz has the outfit in his closet already.
Oh wow. Wow.
Might be something in there that would look good. Maybe a nice blouse. I don't know.
Let's get back to the other disaster, the Chicago Bears offensive line.
Yeah.
Week 2, we started talking about it before we got into Fitz gibberish, but week 2, they're going up against a very good defensive front seven. The defensive front seven of the Houston Texans, in my eyes, I said this before the season, is the best defensive front seven in all of football. And so what do the Bears have to do this week to one, not get Caleb Williams killed, but for two, to stay in this football game?
I mean, you just have to do what they should have done last year that they never really were able to do. Maybe later in the year they did. I want to see jumbo packages. They got Mercedes Lewis. He's like 1,000 years old, but he can still somehow block. I want to see him in the game. I do want to see the tight ends utilized. That's how you maybe they chip and they get out and into the coverages, and maybe they get a catch or two, and that's how you slow down that front seven. You get guys out there. I hate to say it, but we're gonna need some screen passes when we use their aggressiveness against them.
John, I absolutely am going to go there. So, but it might not be Ryan's face. Just so you know, nobody's Facebook profile is immune to being on my Speedo. Just so you know, all I have to do is download it and upload it. And I know how to do it. So
your computer is gonna blow up.
Yeah,
set on fire. But I mean, I think you're gonna have to do something like that. I mean, and you're just gonna have to have Caleb Williams know that he cannot anymore ever again try to twirl out of a rush that's right in his face. You cannot do that in the NFL. Maybe it worked in college. You cannot do that anymore because you're going to lose more than 19 yards next time. You're just going to have to, turf the ball.
Yeah.
Try to have him always have, access point anywhere where he can dump the ball off almost on any play after the rush is pretty bad. But you need to do double teams. You need to have jumbo packages, have 2 or 3 guys out there. This is the NFL. They basically let you throw the ball. If you're going to throw the ball, have 2 or 3 guys out in a route. Sorry. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do most of this game. Maybe a couple of times you can get away with, but there was a couple times where they had an empty backfield, and this was after you saw the offensive line could not take the front 4 of the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have jumbo packages here. You have to do some maybe play actions, things like that. It's going to be a tough game. I do not see them winning this game today. I do not. It would be a surprise if they did. But I don't see how they do, because I think I don't think they're outmatched on defense, but I think this is obviously a much better offense than the Titans offense was. You don't have Will Levis back there dumping the ball off to Tyreek Stevenson, who's not on his team.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I still don't know what he was trying to do with that, but
Jeremiah says our tackles are far better than our guards, so that's why I don't think it'll be as bad. Jenkins played like dog shit last week too. The entire offensive line played like dog shit last week. It's not just Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins was
Nate
better
Davis
last
looked
year.
bad last week. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't even think he wants to play football. Yeah,
I don't think he likes
exactly.
Football. I don't think that's not his first sport. Maybe he's going home and playing curling or something. Maybe he likes beanbags.
Coleman Shelton might have had the worst game of his life.
Maybe we should talk to Southside Bags. Maybe Nate Davis can do that.
Yeah, I don't even know if he can do that. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, he might get blown over by one of the bags.
He might.
I'm not going to say that the Bears are dead in the water going into this game, but it's going to be hard pressed for me to find a scenario where they can actually win this game. Now, I think the defense is good enough to keep them in this game. I think the defense can do a good enough job of putting pressure on Stroud, do a good enough job of shutting down Diggs and shutting down Nico Collins. And I think that they can actually, Tank Dell as well. I think that they can do a good job of containing that and keeping this to a one-score football game. I just don't know if the offensive line can hold up enough for Caleb Williams to actually have time to do anything relevant on the offense.
Yeah, and I think, if you want to look at some guys, Andrew Billings, I mean, he is a grown-ass man. We talked about Simmons. Andrew Billings on the Bears defensive line. If you want to just look at a guy play, watch him play. Look at number 52 when he comes in. Darrell Taylor, like I said earlier.
Jason,
I guess you could call this
32-11 Houston.
32-11 Houston. It might be that bad. I mean, it might be that bad today. I don't know. Hopefully it's a learning experience for the team. Hopefully it's closer than that. We have a good game. I mean, it's a primetime game. I don't want to go to bed at 8:45, but it might be one of those nights. But like I said, look at Darrell Taylor. He looked just great on the edge.
Yeah.
And he actually played pretty good on the run packages too. From what I saw, I wasn't able to see too much of the film, but from what I saw, he did pretty good on run packages. He had a couple run stops. He looks like he's going to be pretty good. For them, looks like that was a great pickup, and obviously you always have Sweat, but I mean, they might get some push from the line, and they might keep it interesting for a while. I want to see some growth from Caleb Williams too. I know it's only game 2, and I think Eberflus came out and said, "I don't want to. I'll wait until after the 4th or 5th game." That's every damn season with this coach. It's like, oh yeah, we'll just wait till the 3rd or 4th game. Every season, we'll wait till a quarter of the season is done to play well.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you think that's a recipe for success?
I mean, it could be.
But can
the offensive line block enough for the run game? I see John Fitzgibbon says give the ball to Swift as much as possible. Jason Anton chimes in, says, now I got to run Swift more. Look, giving the ball to Swift, I think we need the two-headed monster. Now that Roschon Johnson's back in the lineup, now that he's not injured and he has no injury designation, give the ball to Swift for 2 downs. Give the ball to Roschon Johnson for 2 downs. I think you could run this two-headed monster. You got 2 very different backs. You got Swift who can run east to west, who is shifty, can make you miss. And you got Roschon Johnson that can just run your ass over. I like both of the backs that the Bears have. You still have to be able to block. You still have to be able to stop these guys from penetrating the line. And last week, what I saw is that even the run blocking last week was horrendous. And that's something that they didn't have. Last year, their run blocking was the best part of their game.
Yeah.
It was the only good thing the offensive line could do last year was run block. And last week, there was none of that. And the other thing that was driving me nuts last week was the guard play was so bad, but they kept running the ball through the guards. Like, run the ball off the edges. Run the ball. Get somebody into open field. And when they finally did run the ball off the edges, DeAndre Swift was able to gain chunk yards. Caleb Williams was able to gain chunk yards.
Yeah, I don't
You were
know.
able to get the ball off the edges. So if your tackles are your strength of your offensive line, like Jeremiah Murray says that they are, run the balls off the edges. Get the ball out into open field. Get DeAndre Swift into green grass. Get Roschon Johnson into green grass. If you are going to run through the guards, Roschon Johnson is the guy that has to run the ball through the guards because he's got to be able to bowl people over.
And I'm not running left. I'm running right because you know what I think of Braxton Jones. I'm just not going to run left. And then Nate Davis is over there too. I don't know. Nate Davis is right. Anyway, I'd still run right. I mean, at least you have Darnell right there. I think he's your best offensive lineman. I rarely run left. I mean, they ran up the middle a lot, and I think the Titans knew it was coming.
Jason Atten says, "Damn, I agree with Brandon Combs, my poor heart." So you've never met Jason. So Jason was the best man at my second wedding, and he left my third wedding early. So
okay. Well, I probably would have done
Atten,
that too. I mean, after
I couldn't make him the
while,
best man in my third wedding too because he was already the jinx in the second wedding.
I'm
So I
surprised.
couldn't do the third wedding.
I'm surprised he had the endurance to get through even that far.
To be honest with you, I'm surprised anybody I invited to the third wedding actually showed up.
We
There's only like 3 people who actually showed up.
Me and Nicole were going to a wedding recently. It was last year. We were going to U of I for the wedding. I'm like, all right, it's one of your old friends. Let's go to the wedding. We're halfway there. And Nicole's friend's husband goes, "Oh yeah, this is her second wedding." Why the hell are we going? It's 2 hours away. Second wedding?
This is their second wedding together?
No, it was her.
It was
the girl's second marriage. Sorry.
I mean, it depends. It depends on the reasons that they ended and all of that. I mean, look, in my case, it's a little bit of a different story, right? Like, I mean, we're not gonna go there anyway.
Bullshit.
It does depend on the story.
You lied to me.
You said your finger was a gun.
Rest in peace, James Earl Jones.
You don't think that it depends? Like you can't get married a second time? Look, not everybody can just get married once. Not everybody can be like my parents or actually my parents don't even count. My mom's on her second marriage too.
Jeez, you forgot that? I feel like that's something you should remember.
I wasn't
like an address.
I wasn't even born yet when she was married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear Jerry again or no?
Joel says, "Oh my, this conversation has turned."
Yeah.
It usually does. Have you never seen Combs and Fitz before?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Doubting Thomas, if you are still out there, you might have already turned it off by now.
You might have fallen asleep.
But fallen asleep, or maybe
up there in
drowned in
age.
Jeremiah's bathtub with candles going. I don't know what may have happened. But are we picking against the spread today, or are we picking just straight up? You let us know.
Spread again.
Well, we're gonna let the person who chooses the punishment gets to pick. I did not fare well against the spread last week. So it's not like I would want the spread, but Doubting Thomas, let us know in the chat. Are we going with the spread or are we just going straight up?
All our lives hang by a thread. Now we've got a man waiting for sentence. But ain't it the truth? You take your chances with the law. Justice is only a roll of the dice, a flip of the coin, a turn of the wheel.
This is the Wheel of Death.
And here we go.
So my guy's feeling good. He got his, he matched his win total from last year and he won once. So now he's feeling good. You think you are the guy in the picture in the background?
I want to be your
All right. So let's go off of the spread. Oh, God. Against the spread, like that Speedo is going to be against Combs' cheek.
Yikes. What do we got?
All right. First game, Saints at Cowboys. Dallas is a 6.5 point home favorite. I gotta write these
Okay.
down.
I will take the Cowboys.
You're taking the Cowboys. You're giving up the points. I mean, I did like what I saw from New Orleans last week. I did like the amount of offense. However, they were playing the Carolina Panthers. So I am also taking Dallas minus the points. Next game is Lions Buccaneers. Buccaneers are in Detroit. Detroit is an 8-point favorite against the Buccaneers.
Let's go Baker Mayfield. I'm going Bucks, baby. Give me the 8 points.
Tampa Bay plus 8. Man, I was leaning that way too.
Take them then. Come to my side.
I'm gonna go with the Lions minus 8. Dan Campbell's gonna screw me on that.
Yes, yeah.
Dan Campbell's gonna screw me
He's
on
not
that.
going to go for the field goal, and
All
they're going
right.
to win by 5.
I already know which way I'm going in this one, so I'll go first. Colts Packers. Colts are a 2.5 point favorite. I'm giving up the points. I do not believe in Malik Willis, and I am going the Colts minus 2.5.
I can't go with the Packers. Both of us, Colts.
All right.
In a
Jets.
game that's at. Go ahead.
Jets at Tennessee. The Jets are a 4-point favorite on the road.
I did not like what I saw with Will Levis. I'll go quarterback here, Jets.
So I did not like what I saw from Will Levis either, but I also did not like what I saw from the Jets offensive line against the San Francisco 49ers. And we did see what the Titans defensive line is capable of doing. I think the Jets win this game. I don't think that it's by more than 4 though. So I'm actually going to go Tennessee, and I'm going to take the points. The Jets have to make me a believer before I become a believer. Vikings 49ers, San Francisco at Minnesota. San Francisco is a 4.5 point road favorite.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
I'll go first. I'm gonna go Minnesota, and I'm gonna go plus the 4.5. I think Minnesota at home. I think they could, and it's weird because I never thought I would say this about a Sam Darnold led offense. I think the Vikings have enough weapons to keep it close.
I got Mason in my fantasy, so I'm going to have to go Niners just to double down here.
Okay. So San
Do you
Francisco
see my
minus 4.5?
in-depth analysis? Like
Yeah.
what I do, I
Yeah.
cut it up a little bit,
Yeah.
into
Your 0-1
percentages.
fantasy team. You're gonna hedge your bets off of your 0-1 fantasy team. That's great. Seahawks at Patriots. Last week we were both dead wrong about this pick. The Patriots actually played really well against a Cincinnati team that we did not see being as bad as they were last week. In New England, the Seahawks are a 3-point favorite.
This is another tough one. Tuffy Rhodes. What is happening over there? Anyway, I don't know. I'm just thinking Seahawks.
Oh, the games are kicking off, so they're moving all the things around. I can't see what is going on. All right, so you're going Seahawks as well?
Yeah.
All right. So
both of us Seahawks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we've got Ravens and Raiders. I believe that this one was a 6.5 point spread for the Ravens. It just kicked off on it, so that we do not have the spread on there any longer. Hold on, we can find this. Damn it!
I'm going Ravens no matter what.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens too in this one. I'm just pulling them up. So we're both going Baltimore with this one. I believe it was 6.5, so we're gonna go minus 6.5. Doesn't matter anyways because it's kind of a wash since we're both going with the same team. I'm pulling up BetMGM.
We got 3 games right now that we're not together on, so that's an odd number. Something's got to give.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamie Foxx. Pulling up the live
This is just
spreads
riveting
on the game.
Riveting podcast. Right
All
now.
right, so we have got Giants and Commanders, and the spread is locked up. I do remember this one. The Giants the Commanders are a 1.5 point favorite at home.
Jesus Christ.
It's basically a pick 'em. Who you think is going to win the game?
I'll go Commanders. I like Jade. I'll take it just about anybody over Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I'm on Washington in this one too. Washington minus 1.5. Then we have got the. I'm sorry. The Ravens were a 10.5 point is a 10.5
I'll
point
still take
favorite.
the
So I'm still
Ravens.
taking the Ravens as well. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change my pick on that one.
Here we go. This fucking guy.
Plus 10. That's a lot of points.
I can't fucking handle this guy
So,
anymore.
Chargers.
This is why no.
Chargers
Back
are
up. Back up. All right, I'll allow it.
Chargers are a 4.5 point favorite.
Raiders and okay. Raiders. Colts.
Yeah, Chargers are a 4.5 point favorite at Carolina. Who you taking?
What was the spread?
4.5 points. Chargers are the favorite. Chargers
taking
minus 4.5 or
Chargers.
Panther.
Go
Yeah, I am
Harbaugh.
too.
Go
I
Harbaugh.
already wrote it down. We've got Browns and Jaguars. That is a 3.5 point spread. Jaguars are the favorite in Jacksonville.
God, Deshaun Watson looked terrible, but I hate Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. I'm going with the Jags minus 3.5.
It's hard for me not to go with the Jags. He looked so bad.
Yeah. We did Vikings, Niners, Lions, Bucks, Rams, Cardinals. We did not do. So Rams are a 1 point Rams are a 1 point favorite, I should say, at home or at Arizona.
I'll go Rams. Matthew Stafford, one of the better quarterbacks, one of the few quarterbacks that threw for 300 yards last week.
I'm going with the Rams too. Because look, the Rams, I like Ladd McConkey a lot. I like the weapons that they have. Arizona, Kyler Murray saying that it's not his job to get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball. Last time I checked, it is the quarterback's job to get the ball to the wide receiver. But I think there's a lot of dissension there right now, especially with the big head of Marvin Harrison Jr. I think the Cardinals are in for a long season. They're going to be that team where everybody's like, man, I thought they were going to be good. Chiefs, Bengals. Chiefs are a 6.5 point home favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Bengals here. I just think, I don't think the Bengals can lose 2 in a row to start the season. I don't really have much other than Joe Burrow's the man, and I still think talent-wise and between the ears wise, he's the second best quarterback in the league. Even with what Josh Allen is doing, which is pretty damn good, but
I agree with you. I just think that hand injury is more than what they're letting on. I've heard rumors that the injury he had could possibly be a career-ending injury, and he was having trouble gripping a water bottle on the sidelines last week. I don't know how he grips a football any longer. I'm going with the Chiefs, and I'm giving up the points because I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Broncos, Steelers. Steelers are a 2.5 point favorite in Denver. Justin Fields, the quarterback.
I'll stick with Fields. I'll go Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers too. Pittsburgh minus 2.5. And then we've got the Monday night game. The Monday night game is, what is the Monday night game? Let me go back to the other. Falcons, Eagles. And the Eagles are a 5.5 point home favorite. You're going Eagles. I'm going to go Atlanta.
Good for you. You and Kirk Cousins can go listen to Creed together.
Yeah. I actually, at some point here, I do think that the Falcons, the talent will shine with them. I just think it's going to be after like week 4 or 5 when Michael Penix Jr. But I'm going to run with them and the points just because I think the Eagles always find a way to keep these games close. And then, of course, the final game that we have to pick are Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans. Houston is a 6 point home favorite.
I think we both have the Texans.
So here's my thing. No, here's my thing. So my prediction on the score when I did it on the radio show the other night, they asked me what the score was going to be. I said 23-17. That's a 6 point swing.
Wow.
I would break even.
Okay, Nicodemus, what do you got this week? Nicodemus.
You're going Houston minus 6?
Yes.
I'm going to ride or die with the Bears. I'll take the Bears plus 6.
Shocker. No one knew that was going to happen.
I hope that, if I'm right about the score and it's 23-17 Houston,
it's a push.
Then it's a push. But But if I'm wrong about the score and the Bears keep it even closer to a field goal, or they somehow find a way to win this game, and I live or die with the Bears, I'm happy with it. And if you lose because of the Bears, then you have to do, 5 of these. We have to look up. Yeah, let's look it up right now. Give me 5 events.
I cannot be bedridden right now.
Events
This would be the worst time in my life to
NFL
be bedridden.
Combine.
Although when is a good time?
I mean, there is never really a good time. So here we go.
I mean, football's back.
Tests and evaluations. The 40-yard
Football's
dash.
back, and the Cubs and the White Sox are great. They'll go into the playoffs, right?
Can we do a 40-yard dash?
I could do a 40-yard dash.
You can do a 40-yard dash?
I can do a 640.
You are full of shit. You are full of shit, and I can't wait to see this.
Do you have a stopwatch that's worth it?
Bench pressing of 225 pounds. That's not happening.
No.
No, I can't bench
Probably
225. Vertical
Probably
jump.
not.
We can do that one.
Yeah.
So vertical jump.
I can jump
broad
45 inches.
Broad jump. We can do that. I got
I
a nice little.
I can jump off over a few broads.
I got a runway here in the backyard. We can do. 20-yard shuttle. I don't even know what that is. I'll have to look that up.
Probably like you take a golf cart 20 yards, I think.
Okay. Yikes. Let's go 3-cone drill. I'd have to look that up as well.
Probably like going around 3 cones.
We've got the 60-yard shuttle. Oh God. Position specific drills. Interviews. There we go. There's my number 1 event. I'm gonna pick in an interview.
Here we go. You're like a bad lawyer.
Physical and injury evaluations. Perfect. You cut my nuts and tell me to cough. I'll do that. Drug screening. That's an evaluation. Drug screening. Depends on what they're testing for.
The Wonderlic test. That's intellectual.
The Wonderlic test.
I don't think you're gonna do good on that one.
He did say five things from the combine, and these are things on the combine. So
he's got his 40-yard dash, 3-cone drill, vertical jump, broad jump, Wonderlic test.
Oh God, he did put the Wonderlic test on it. He wants to know how stupid we are.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
All right, but
here's implies he can spell Wonderlic.
Here's what we should do, Doubting Thomas. After we do this next week, actually, you know what? Here, let's do this. If you want to jump into this, Doubting Thomas, you don't have to. But I think this would be fun. You don't have to do any of the other events, but you make your picks as well. Send them to us in a group text, whatever you want to do. Send us your picks for this week as well against the spread. If you beat us, great, and we'll post it and we'll put everything on the show next week. If you lose, you have to do the Wonderlic test too, and we have to compare scores on the air.
That should be eventful.
I like that. I like incorporating that, but he might not like that because he doesn't want to be dumber than either one of us.
The games have already started. He's already going to have a handicap.
Nobody's scored yet.
I don't know. Tampa Bay almost scored. My Bucks. Baker Mayfield, baby.
All right. Well, kickoff is upon us. Games have already started. Games have been kicking off. I've been scrolling through the Sunday ticket here to find a game to watch.
Jewel says Packers scored first, 3-0. Just stop. It's not your season. Stop.
Nobody cares about the Packers.
They
scored first 3-0. They're going to lose 27-3.
Oh my God.
At any rate, we will see you guys next week. Next week, live from McNally's again.
All right.
All the noon shows will be live from McNally's. So we will be there. Come join us. Last week, it was, I believe they did a $30 special, all you could eat, all you could drink. So that was the special last week. I think they may do the same thing again. I think she was going to change it up. I'll double check and I will try to post something and figure all that out. But next week, join us live at McNally's. 10:30. 10:30 will be the start time at McNally's, not 11 o'clock. 10:30 start time. She had the doors open at 10 o'clock last week. It's going to be a great time. It was a great time last week. It started out slow. People slowly trickled in.
Yeah.
But we ended up with about 30 or 40 people there.
Yeah, it was
live.
a good time.
So it was a lot of fun. Actually, one of the guys in the my fantasy football league. So he was joking around, and I was talking about how he was the lowest scorer in the league last week. He's like, and I said something about somebody having one more win than him. Oh, Justin Fields. And he's like, one, the same amount of listeners you have on your podcast. I said, actually, we had more live viewers last week than you had points. So. Which is actually true. he had a really bad week last week. But at any rate, next week, 10:30, McNally's. Be there, be square. Till then, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. Have a good weekend.